You join me on my journey, not to be a millionaire, but to be financially free. And what that means to me, I explained in my first video, but in short, it means I can do what I want, I can pick what clients I work with, and I have enough of a nest egg to keep me occupied. If you haven't watched that video, go check it out. In this video, we're going to talk about the steps I actually took to get going. This was just over 3 years ago when I took the plunge to actually try start my own side business. I needed to make a little bit of extra cash. So, as my experiences in property finance, I thought I need to utilize those skills in order to maximize my earning opportunities. But very shortly after I started thinking of ways that I can actually make more money, an opportunity arose that if I wasn't looking for it, I wouldn't have been able to take advantage of. So this is how I got going with less than £1,000 spent, and now I've grown the business to a point where it's actually generating as much, if not a little bit more, than my main salary. My day-to-day job is in property finance. As such, I knew how lenders worked, I knew what lenders were looking for, and I knew exactly how to position deals so that lenders would approve them. But knowing how to do something and actually getting people to pay you money in order to do it are two completely separate things, and I knew nothing about that. I'd never run a business before. I've been employed since I left university, other than having a small toy shop when I was a kid, selling all my old toys at a massive discount, so no wonder they all sold quickly. I haven't run any business at all. I've always wanted to, it's always been something on my mind, but now I thought it's a good time to look at options. So, how it all started was fairly interesting. I actually got a call from someone looking to sell Facebook leads that they were generating on behalf of another client. That client only wanted deals over 500,000 in total borrowings. So he was trying to offload all of the leads that he was getting in that were sub 500,000. At the time, he was offering them at £2,000 per 20 leads. So it's £100 a lead, which is not far off what you'd expect to be paying anyway. So I said to him, I just don't have the money. I don't think it's something I can do. But out of nowhere, I just thought, oh, why don't, if you've generated all these leads, they're going to go to waste if we don't use them. Why don't I just utilize those leads, see if I can work those leads, and then actually, if they go anywhere, we do a profit share. We'll split the money 50-50. And thus, the brokerage was born. I had no idea what I was doing. The first leads came in the very next day, and he had a list of about 15 people. So I went through, ringing all of them, just checking what they were after, what we could do, and to my surprise, quite a lot of them were actually pretty decent leads. The issue was, I wasn't any good. I knew quite a lot of lenders, but I didn't know which ones did exactly what, because I was focused on what we did as a lender. But it's a very different role. I know how to package a deal, I know how to put it forward for a lender, but I don't know which lenders to take to every single deal. I only knew maybe a dozen lenders, but there are hundreds and hundreds of lenders out there that do all sorts of different things. After working these leads for around about a month and actually progressing with some of them, due to various reasons, and this is the nature of the job, none of the deals actually went anywhere. But it did spark the entire idea for my business. I had tasted how it works, I'd seen some near successes, and I knew I could do it. So what I started doing was every time I was talking to someone, I would ask them, do you get sort of deals that you can't work with? Do you want me to have a look at them? I didn't mind taking the smallest of deals and actually working them, because for me, it was an opportunity to learn. So despite all the weeks of chasing and waiting and trying to get people to send me information, I ended up with zero money originally. But I didn't give up, and I kept talking to more and more people, and eventually I spoke to one broker who only does $1 million+ deals, and he said he gets plenty of deals in that are on the smaller side. So I thought, well, pass them to me, I'll deal with them and we'll just split the money. And that's what he did. So after a week or two, I got my very first lead in from him. I spoke to him about some potential lenders and I started working the deals. And over time, I got more and more in until finally the very first one completed. And it was a really good little company of a husband and wife development team. And that's when the second idea clicked. Not only did I think that getting into the property finance was a good idea, but what I wanted to do was get clients that would repeat business, and people that are developers by profession do exactly that. If they don't build, they don't earn. And I can help them along their journey in order to ease the friction of getting that development finance. And that's where I stepped in. And that's how I formed my company. And after the very first clients finished, I started getting more and more. And I ended up in the first year completing around 4 deals. So not many, but that cash equated to not far off £10,000. So it was an awful lot of money for me, considering I wasn't pushing it hard. I was just talking to a few people and I had to split all the cash. So the total billable was around 20,000, but the 10,000 was a massive amount. It was 10,000 that I never had before and I could put somewhere to actually get going. And the business was officially up and running. So year 1, we did very few deals. Year 2, I actually started progressing more and more, and we ended up doing around about 8 deals that year, which was probably about 30,000 in cash for me, which was insane. It blew my mind how much money we were getting. What I decided to do with that cash was actually pay down some of the debt we had. The student loans got paid off, which I still had, which is crazy. We were able to pay back my parents, who we owed money to for helping us buy our house a long time ago. So we paid them off. We also started looking at ways to pay down all the other debt because we thought that debt is costing us. It is a burden, and it's something that, despite working in debt, I'm not the biggest fan of holding on a lot of debt that isn't actively making us money. And things have rolled from there. And in the next video, I'll share exactly where we are now, what we're doing, and how we went. But what this really taught me was, you don't need a lot of cash to start a business. All you need to do is be open to opportunities. And it was so strange that the second I started looking for those opportunities, it was only a month or so until they landed. And then a few weeks after that, once I was talking to other people, more and more kept coming in. And yes, it's not a lot of money. And if I really pushed it, which at the time, the idea wasn't as fully fledged, I wasn't going to go full in. I wanted just some extras changed. Now, things are slightly different, and I'll run through all of those on the next video of what the plan is, what we're looking to do, and I'll share all of that in a bit more detail. But I think if you have an idea, if you're open to it, just say yes. What's the worst that can happen? You don't know what to do. I got a small amount of money. The broker was really happy because I was able to help them. All they did was pass over a phone number, and they got an extra 10,000 that year as well. So it's a win-win for everyone. And the same goes if you are in any industry. If there's anything that you're good at, it's worth it having a look to see if there's something you can do to help other people. Making people's lives easier is an amazing business. These referrals are actually still quite a large chunk of business that I do today. So nearly 4 years on. We'll see in the next video where we will discuss how we're doing today, and I'll go through, spoiler alert, quite a few of the mistakes that I made and I wish I'd learned sooner. And hopefully me letting you know will also save you a hell of a lot of time. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.